What's up, guys? Fired Up. Fired Up is here. Fired Up live on a Thursday from Long Island, New York. Lisa, how are you?
I'm good.
How are things on the other side of the river?
I see someone just sent hearted the video. Wondering who that was.
If you hearted this video, we better know who you are in the comments right over here.
Who are you? Heart in our video.
How dare you come in here and heart and not announce yourself?
We got another heart.
Ah,
And Taz says there was a comic in that magazine, wasn't there?
there sure was, Charlie Brown. Charlie Lutz. There sure was. Welcome to Thursday afternoon, Friday, Thursday afternoon, Fired Up. And Taz is in the building as per usual. Thank you, Taz, for being here. Oh, by the way, Lisa, my sister has them.
Awesome. Good.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about a few things. Just when you thought you've seen and heard it all, something else pops in and makes you things that make you go, But before I get to that, scrolling across the bottom of your screen, we got FedCon. FedCon tickets available now, April 25th to 27th. I know you're saying to yourself, that is a long time away. We still got to go through Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day and Easter. And there's a long way to get there. I get that. Jason in the building on Facebook. What's up, Jason Hartman? Nevertheless, that time is going to go by. Tickets are going to sell. Hotel block is going to be kaput. And you're going to say to yourself, why did I wait? Don't wait. Don't be like me. I wait. And I always regret it. So don't wait. Get your tickets. Go to fedcon.com. If you have any questions, let us know. And before I jump in, we had a nice meeting yesterday and talking about why go to FedCon. Why go to FedCon? And I'm not going to get into a whole big long thing, a big spiel about it, but I do know how important that this is going to be. And if you're a manufacturer, why do you go, right? I think you want to go as a manufacturer because, of course, you're going to have plenty of your service agents there. But we're also going to be tackling a lot of the issues that have been coming up over and over again in the Fed group. We're going to have panels. We're going to have situations where there's going to be moments of change. And be the manufacturers on the edge, on the cusp of thinking forward. Be there for that. Help us, help you, help us come together in ways we've never come together before. And strengthen these things so we can really take on the world together. Because obviously this industry is going to continue to boom. If you're a dealer, why are you coming? You're saying to yourself, I don't care about marketing and digital branding. Why? The question is why. Secondly, do you want to sell more equipment? Because I know you do. You're going to learn ways on how you could utilize some of these platforms to do that. You look at Josh and I, we talked in Cefesa, we talked about how we have some real ROI, real dollars. This is real dollars and cents. We're not doing this stuff just for our health because we love it or because we want to, but because there's a real business behind it. It's all of those things, but there's also a business part to this. So dealers, be in the room with other service agents, be in the room with manufacturers and reps, figure out ways how you can collaborate. And then learn some of these platforms on how you're going to say, okay, I could utilize Reels and I could utilize TikTok to sell more equipment and build my brand. And then I could take that over to LinkedIn. And there's just so many ways that you could be up in your game. If you don't, your competition will. Be there. If you're a rep, why do you want to be there? Well, I think for reps, you're going to be there because manufacturers are going to be there. You guys are going to have more moments and time to collaborate. It's not just a networking thing. It's a learning thing. It's an understanding thing on what all the pieces of the puzzle. We all have our own part in customer success, and we're all pulling from the same customer at the end of the day in every market that we're in. Here in New Jersey, if you're well built, if you're middle B, and we're representing you in the field, that's our customer. That's your customer. We need to figure out better ways to communicate, talking more the same language, and understanding the importance of the digital part of it, the branding part of it, the collaboration part of it, and how that all goes together for success in the future. Technicians, we were talking about why technicians want to be in the building. And there's, how do you want to be the best tech you could be, right? That's, I think, the situation here. How do you become the six-figure technician? If you're a technician and you're saying to yourself, man, I'm making $50,000 a year, $60,000, whatever it is, and you want to be that six-figure technician, and you're 4 years in, you go, I know I can do it. Why wouldn't you want to be in the room where people are going to give you the map? They're going to give it to you, the knowledge. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but you have to know. You have to know what to do. We're going to have Lisa's jumping in.
I have to raise my hand here because I love adding to your conversations.
Please.
So I got like a case study that I was just reading. And here's a little snippet from the summary. It says, recent disruptions have significantly changed the way consumers engage with brands. At the start of the pandemic, millions of customers switched from purchasing their favorite products in person to purchasing them online. According to a study, 82% of consumers globally say they've changed their shopping habits since the pandemic started. That's why this is so important.
These are big numbers.
Big numbers. Not just 2%.
These numbers aren't going backwards.
No. So the study actually focuses on metaverse and all of that. So this stuff isn't going backwards. It's literally just moving forward into a digital world.
It is. It is. We all have to be a part of it. And if we're not, we're going to do the industry and the next generation and the people that come after us a disservice. I think there's responsibility on me. There's responsibility on you if you're in this industry and it is part of your blood, part of who you are. It's giving you everything you have. This industry is that. You don't find people who come to this industry and leave. They might find their way in, but once they're here, I hear stories all the time. They never leave. And this is part of what FedCon is going to be. This is propelling the food equipment industry from here to here. And every time we do it, it's going to be from here to here, then here to here. And I'm going to run out of arm. All right. That's what this is. We're propelling the industry forward together. And
what channel were you just on? I know you were on manufacturer, you were on dealers, and then did you just end up at reps?
I did reps, and I was talking about technicians.
Technicians. Okay, let me go back a little bit because I'm reading a little bit more on this study, which this is just another anecdote that I feel is important, not only for manufacturers but for dealers as well. So a lot of the conversations you've had with on Fired Up have stemmed from like supply chain issues and things like that, right? So that has forced consumers to try new brands, which just goes into how important building your brand and brand loyalty is moving forward, especially if they're being forced to try other brands because of just supply chain issues or anything like that, or just a shift in behavior. You're obviously going to want to pull them back in. You're going to want to pull them back to your brand because of XYZ.
Yes. Yeah. That's a great point. Think about that. Think about that from the branding perspective with the supply chain issue. And you've always been accustomed to buying this, and this. And now you can't. But there's somebody over here, and they have this, and this. And you need to keep building your business. You need to keep growing. You need to keep doing business. You have to do what you have to do. Are those brands that are over here going to be forgotten? And it's like, oh, these guys were, maybe they were more expensive, less expensive, whatever the fact may be. Maybe they love it more now. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with this now. This is where brand comes into play tremendously. It just comes into play big time because, and I talk about the brand, the people who, the companies like us, like a service company or a rep or dealer or manufacturer, the ones who get closest to their brand, to the brands that they service or sell to, are going to be the ones to win long term. You need to continue to put out content consistently, and you got to drive value, and you got to build relationships, and you got to do it every day, and you can't take a week off or 2 weeks off. No, it's got to be every week, every day, 52 weeks a year, and you got to kill it. There is no alternative. There is no other way. So I was talking about also technicians want to be in the building, and we haven't really with the agenda for. Sorry, everyone. I got to do something here on my laptop. Is screwy here. The agenda hasn't been completely, set in stone. I think, and talking yesterday, Lisa, too. I mean, I think, from the technician standpoint, we should have something really strong in place as far as maybe a rotating workshop or something on how to become that six-figure technician, which we said yesterday. And I even, by the way, once upon a time, because I was planning on putting something together that will probably play into what the Fed membership could be at some point. I own, Lisa, sixfiguretechnician.com.
Okay, gotcha. This just because you're on the subject of technician, you still have to reach out to said person who would be great on speaking on this subject, but I'll bring that up later when I speak to you off air.
Yes, and we have a lot to talk about tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
So, and that's that. But then you go back and you look at service companies. Why does a service company want to be in the building? Listen, I'm from the service world. I'm going to be in the building. Josh Zolin's from the service world. He's going to be in the building. We got Corey from Alpha Omega. He's service. He's going to be in the building. Chris Rowling, service, going to be in the building. Okay, so listen, the point is that this is the melting pot. And if you're a service company and you're saying to yourself, talking about getting close to the customer, right? You want them to know who you are. You want them to know you by name. You want to walk in the room and be like, oh, I know you. This was happening at Basinka Ferry. The more consistent you are, people get to know you, and be yourself. Because when you walk in a room, it changes things. When someone's like, "Hey, Rich, I've been watching you on LinkedIn. I love those fired up things you do." And I have a guy that needs service for his 17 locations. These are relationships that are being built. You're getting to know me every day of the week that I come on here, and this is the real me, mostly. But listen, and this is the greatest thing. That we get to take it offline. We get to go to FedCon. We get to break bread, have drinks, and really get down to the nitty gritty to know each other. We're going to form even stronger relationships. But you want to know what needs to be done for the next level. So you look at your competition. If they're going to be there, you need to be there. You need to be paying attention. So you need to be in that room. We're going to take the digital branding and marketing thing to the next level. We're going to teach it. We're going to show it. Practitioners, you're going to be in the right place. I don't want to keep talking about that, but I had to get that out.
And Jason, I will send you this study. I don't mind. I'll email it to him.
All right, cool. Jason, it's on its way. What are we talking about today? We're fired up. I'm over here. So I'm over here in Long Island. I'm here for basically 60 days to the day, just about. It's been an interesting journey, and we've gone from 3 technicians to 5 technicians in those 60 days. And I think I have number 6 ready to go for January out here. It's a beautiful thing. We're building. Very exciting times. And, when you take over when you have an acquisition, there's people involved. This is important to me. And I want to make sure we're doing right by the customer. I want to make sure I'm doing first and foremost right by the people that are in this building that bear the Service Master logo. And, we have a way of doing things across the river in Jersey for a long time. And, we talk about a lot of these things over and over again. And I just got here. I haven't really been able to have a big, strong meeting yet because, honestly, we have to come out of the gate strong. We have to drive revenue and sales. That's the big thing right now, obviously, especially for the fourth quarter. But, we're going to sit down and we're going to go over some care team guidelines. So, and I'm not going to get too far and deep into all this stuff, but when you're looking at technicians, obviously the lifeblood of service companies, not just today, that's been a thing forever. I used to sit in Cefesa meetings with guys running these big companies, and they would go, "Rich, our technicians are the only asset. They're the only asset, and we're an expense. You're an expense. I'm an expense." And that has always stuck with me, and it does ring true. It's the truth. So we have to understand that, and technicians need to understand how important that they are, and we have to continue to drive that home in the meetings, collectively, in the one-on-ones, in the phone calls, in the text messages, and also driving home the importance of safety and doing things properly. We should never be jumping anything out. We should never be going or doing MacGyver stuff. And I think there's a fine line with when I say MacGyver stuff, because sometimes you got to get a custom running, but there's a safe way to do those things. There is a safe way, not cutting corners. So, we're seeing some things like that, and these are things that have to be driven home day in and day out, because there's a lot of those things that, especially when you're coming into a new market and a new place, you don't know these. You don't know everybody's ins and outs. You don't know what they're capable of. When you're sitting in New Jersey, if you're a service manager, you're sitting on your board. You know your technician. You know their capabilities. You know their strengths. You know their weaknesses. You know what they know. And when you're coming into something new, it could be a little tough. So, and listen, we all have to give ourselves, not a pat on our back, but just a breathing moment. Like, listen, let's go. Things work themselves out, but we have to address things. So it's just interesting to me. And anybody has anything to say on technicians and safety, please chime in, jump in the comments. Let me know if you have any interesting stories. Throw those in the comments. We'll discuss it. But that's some things that are going on over here. Now, listen to this. So we have a situation, and I've never seen this before. A technician goes, does a job, does what he's got to do, and the job wasn't sitting well with him, which is, that's great. Technician cares. I love that. Not going to get into the whole story of the job, just the interesting part of it, where, you go home at night, you take your boots off, you're sitting home, and all of a sudden it's just not sitting so well with you of what that job was, and you didn't finish it off the way you wanted to finish it for whatever reason. And you go off in your own vehicle, in your own regular clothes, and you roll up at 7:30 at night to this location. You go back in, you're crawling on top of the thing, you're pulling this apart. I have never seen a technician go out on his own volition, on his own time, off to a customer location. There's a couple of things that run through my mind with this. First of all, we just can't do that. You can't just dispatch yourself at night to a location. It's just kind of strange, and it doesn't really look good, especially when you arrive in civilian, regular, clothes. Maybe he wasn't. Actually, I don't know what he was wearing. I didn't ask what he was wearing. I should have. But he took his own vehicle, and he's there on his own volition. He cared. That's one of the first things that makes me think this guy cares. He cares about the unit. He cares about what the company might look like. He cares about his own. We all have that in us to be the best we can, and to fix things and to get things done. So he has that in him, and that's what I wanted to highlight when I let him know. Like, I appreciate that, and cut the guy some slack. But in the same spectrum, first things first, if we're having these thoughts or these feelings, we need to call into the service manager or call me, and let's figure this out. Because then we get to site and we start saying things we shouldn't. Why are you back here? Well, because I didn't check this, and I didn't do. This is where it can get tricky. We call that diarrhea of the mouth. For years and years and years here, we called it that. And it's, again, there's nothing malicious from the technician or anything like that. It was all in. He had his heart in the right place, but these are things that can get you in trouble. And first and foremost, our obligation is always to the company. It's always to the company. We have to make sure that we are doing ourselves a service, not a disservice. We're a team, and when you're a team, we are accountable for the person next to us in many cases. And I say this all the time, like, it's a technician in the field, even me. But when you look at the techs in the field, those are the players. Those are the guys and the gals out there getting it done in the trenches. The things that they do directly affect the person next to them, just like on a football field. Defensive ends, centers, all these guys are looking to the guy next to them to do their part and to do it right every single time. When something goes wrong, the team could feel it. And I love sports for metaphors all the time because it's just so closely related to business in a lot of ways. But we could get look at
that. Surprise.
Who's that?
Carson
is here. So Carson, who am I?
Who is that?
Uncle Richie.
That's Uncle Richie.
Yeah.
You want to show him what we brought for his Toy for Tot drive?
Go ahead, show him.
Whoa, what is that?
It's for Toys for Tots.
Cool.
And
I like
So I interrupt this programming for to bring you guys Toys for Tots.
Absolutely. Don't forget, guys, Toys for Tots. We're rocking and rolling in New Jersey. Send your toys unwrapped to 586 Avenue A, Bayonne, New Jersey, 07002. We are working in conjunction with Richie Festa, Doherty Enterprises, Applebee's to get these toys to some children in need in New Jersey. So yeah, and then looks like Carson's got some things he's donating.
Thank you, Carson.
I love it. So Carson, you know that you're going to give those toys, and another kid out there is going to get to enjoy those because of you.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Thank
that's great.
That's great.
He's
Good job.
hi. All right, we'll let you keep talking.
I'll keep talking. I'll ramble a little bit more. That's a good surprise. See, I'm in Long Island. I'm missing Carson. That's okay. I'm gonna get to see him next week. It's Thanksgiving already. But anyway, listen, we're talking about technician safety and stuff. There's certain things that have to be addressed in these situations. We have to make sure that we're not dispatching ourselves to jobs without talking to service or to myself or to somebody that we got to talk these things through. We also can't, and these are instances that I've talked about before. This just made me realize, you know what? We have to have a company meeting out here. We have to talk about some things on do's and don'ts. By all means, do keep the customer informed of everything that you're doing. Do let the customer know that, if there are parts that need to be ordered, that, the office is going to, we're going to submit this to the office right now. You want this to be expedited. Give them as much proactive service as you can. Don't stand in front of a piece of equipment and say, I've never seen this before. That is just going to spiral down the line. If an owner is there, a manager, they're going to hear that. Probably not going to be happy, rightfully so. They're going to call the rep. The rep's going to call the dealer. They're all going to call the manufacturer, and then this is going to ring. It has happened many times. Usually with the younger core guys, even though you drive it home over and over again, it still happens. And sometimes they have seen it before. It's just one of those things they might not have seen in a long time, because there could be specialty equipment out there that technicians don't see every day, which does happen from time to time. But we never let the customer see sweat. We'll figure it out. Call me, call another senior tech, get one from a manufacturer. Let the customer, listen, I got this. It's under control. I'm going to get in here right now. Take the panel off, do what we got to do, figure it out. Another thing to never do as a technician is say, man, this piece of equipment is a piece of junk. You should have got this. You should have got that. You should throw this thing out the back. Don't do that. That's another don't. I've talked about this here before too. But these are some things to pay attention to, and safety and do's and don'ts. I got a big, long task ahead of me over the next 12 months for sure. On the Jersey side, on the New York side, as we put all these new systems, processes, guidelines, do's, don'ts, safeties, protocols, all these things in place. But that's what happens when you grow. You can't stay the same. You can't operate like the six person firm anymore. We have to start. We're not there yet, but we have to start operating like the 50 technician firm. We have to operate that way. So when we get there, it's smooth sailing. And then when we get there, we have to operate like the 125 person firm. We always have to be many, many steps ahead. So these are the things that, listen, I'm talking about this stuff because this is the stuff that's going on in my world. If you saw my post earlier, that's, this is what I get fired up about, things that are going on in my world or in the industry in general. Lisa, what else were we going to be fired up about today? Did I cover it?
Hold on. No, hold on. Let me just check here.
There's just so much happening.
I forget what you get fired up about sometimes.
Me too.
Oh, no, we you didn't talk about customers and the discounted pricing.
Yes.
There you go.
So, discounted pricing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Taz, I'm sorry. I don't want to be the Walmart of service companies. I don't want to roll back my prices. Here's why. First of all, it is extremely expensive to operate a service company in 2021. It's changed. The playing field has changed. The way we do business has changed. Technology is expensive. That's number one. Talk about technology. Technology is expensive. Those are things that were never really a factor back in the day. You go back 20 years, you should have saw the software. We were working on something called DAC Easy. It was an accounting software that my father had. It had no dispatch board. It had nothing. All it was a purchase order system and invoicing system, basically. That's all it did. There was no investment in any of that. We had the dot matrix printer printing out the invoices. I mean, it was very simplified. It worked. I mean, listen, it worked. Our schedule was on paper and pen. Look at software and all these different things. These are all things that are expensive, necessary, but expensive. When you look at insurances, when you look at health insurance, it's massive. It's a massive hurdle. When you look at workers' comp and auto insurance, general liability, all these things, massively, year in and year out. There's increases coming for 2022, ladies and gentlemen, and for your insurances. And there's just the gas is back to almost $4 a gallon. You got tolls, craziness. Over here in New York, there are cameras. I've never seen this. This is ridiculous. Something's got to change over here. There's cameras everywhere logging your speed, and if you're going 40 and a 25, that camera's sending tickets here all day, every day. I got stacks of them over here. What is going on? First of all, I guess we got to slow down, but when you're wrong, you're wrong. It is what it is. But I mean, there's just a lot of things that go into it. Not to mention the very, very high technician salaries that have come into play over the last 5 years. The inventory that we have to hold, the inventory we continue as we build and get key accounts. There's more inventory that we're holding because you want those first visit fixes as much as you can. And then you have, listen, and we're talking about customer pricing and the way we try to do it. We try to be fair. I'm not trying to price gouge or do any of that stuff. And I don't think we are. I do my due diligence. I pay attention to the market. We know what other companies are charging. Fair. What's fair? $70 an hour is not fair when you have guys that when it costs more to send the technician to site. Is 80 fair? Is 90 fair? I mean, honestly, for a service company to be profitable in this market, now I know every market's different. What's really probably the most fair at this point is 120 to 135 an hour, somewhere in between those in the New Jersey market. New York, let me tell you something. There's companies out here charging $200 an hour. It is, and I understand. I get it. It's very expensive to get technicians to site. Where in New Jersey, we're watching these travels. When you watch travel, because it takes time to get to calls. It usually takes an hour or less to get to calls in New Jersey for the most part. There's always those instances. But when you look at this New York market and what I'm watching and monitoring, it's 2 hours tops or minimum in a lot of cases out of the gate in the morning. You have a guy leaving his house at 6 a.m. He's not getting to that job site till 8:15. It's tough. Where there's billable hours that get lost. And, so when you look at pricing and people and customers are saying, oh, you're expensive. I would ask that customer to take a look at their recent or current service provider that they were using before me and see what you get for that price. Is this a reputable company? Do they have insurances? Are they holding all the best insurances? So you're off the hook if something happens? Because we do. Are they warranting their work? What is it? Minimum 30 days? Are they doing the 90-day warranties? Are they doing the 180-day like we do here? Are they a Safesa certified company like we are? Are they going through all these rigorous point systems to ensure that training is where it should be, our financials are where they should be, our education, all these different things are where they should be? Are they stocking the parts on the van? Are they training their technicians progressively? Do they have people like me in the office, people like Quentin sitting in their office, people, good people sitting in the office that are going to be there if something goes wrong? Or are these just going to be like, oh, not my problem? I see it. I hear horror stories all the time. I called this company. They won't come back. They said, we did the repair. That's done now. It's it. We'll have to charge again. And listen, we stand behind our work. There's a door right here, and it will not be a revolving door. It will not be. I will not let it be a revolving door. No, I'm not going to win all the time, but I'm going to do my best to let every customer know that within those prices you pay, you're getting a lot, and you're getting all of me, you're getting all of my team, and you're getting a whole boatload of care. So yeah, discounted pricing and moving forward, I'm slowly working my way away from it. It's just, and I know we look at national chains or we look at multi-unit locations or whatever, and there has to be that thought process. Okay, there's a lot of work here. Maybe there's discounted rates in that spectrum, and I understand that to an extent, but we also have to do our best to work our way back to what's fair for both parties. And again, I was talking about empathy in a recent post. We have to have empathy, whether you're a customer or not. I'm someone's customer. I have empathy for what people do for us. We needed a new roof. Guys telling me this is what you need. This. You know what? Okay, if it's going to be done right and you're going to stand behind it, I'm okay with that price. I'm okay. You got to make money. I understand that. I'm in business. It's got to be fair. And we have to come to those agreements. And there has to be an understanding of why these prices are set. We're not just pulling numbers out of the sky and saying, oh, $322 an hour. No. I'd love to charge that. Don't get me wrong. But I think there's got to be some talk. And again, something else, the market. A lot of times we're doing it to each other. We're undercutting each other. We're undercutting. Oh, he's giving you 120. I'll do 110. Then they go back to him. Oh, he'll do 110. Okay, I'll do 100. We need to get to a place, and I'm hoping maybe Fed Nation might be that thing where we create these guidelines. I think when you look at the equipment, there's that pricing, that map pricing that's what you sell it for. So it's a fair playing ground. And then let the price be the price, but then let the service and everything else you do speak for itself. We put pictures and video on every invoice. These technicians are spending time doing that. We're giving you value in that price. It's a hyperlink. You click it, you open it, you see what the tech did, pictures, video, data plates. You also got text. What's up, Lisa?
I'm not sure if you are seeing the comments that are coming in.
I'm not reading them, but I see them. We could address them. Okay. What do we got?
So Chris says, I don't discount my rates for the national change, and they are my biggest customers, but I have had them ask in the past. So It says, national chain argument falls short. So what, you have 10,000 locations. They're not all in my market. Say no to discounted rates. So Jason is asking, standardized street rates per location, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, Jason, I don't know. That could be a tough one. I would standardize street rates because every market's going to be different. You're going to look at a guy that's in Wyoming and Montana versus a guy in New York and New Jersey. I don't think the people in Wyoming want to pay $199 an hour and $150 trip for us to walk through the door versus something like that you see in New York City on a daily basis. Because the expenses over here in New York versus Wyoming, much different. I'm sure tech salaries are much different too. So I don't know if it will be a standardized across the board, but maybe, I don't know. This is a long, drawn out conversation for sure. But I think we do ourselves a disservice, day in and day out, if we're looking to undercut the next guy. And I hate to have to, sometimes you got to play the game and you got to do what you got to do because you're in business. And I get that. But if we could put this community thing into play and we look at Fed Nation and we have more service companies that are in the industry constantly coming in, over 1,000 people in there now. Maybe we can get to that point where on the fedgroup.com, you look at, rates across the country. And we could have a standard. We could set a standard for each market. This would take probably polling and surveys and participation from many, many, many people. Can it be done? Absolutely. Will we get there, Lisa? Maybe.
You're waiting for me to come in? Possibly. We'll get there slowly.
This is something that the Fed group can be very, the Fed group could be very important in the transition of what's next, right? So as long as people are willing to share and be open and stuff like that, I think we could maybe, like I said, there could be a page one day, the service index in each market, standardized rates in street rates in each market. I mean, I think that would probably be something. I guess that's what you're saying and what I'm saying. I guess we're saying that. And that could be something. Listen, and obviously every business has the right to charge whatever they feel they need to charge. This would just be a guideline, This would be some place to go and say, hey, what's the going rate in New York City? What's the going rate in Roanoke, Virginia? Or that in the Virginia market anyway. And then maybe it might give these service companies, and I think this is something that would be behind the membership, not something that would be, publicized for everyone. I think it would be something. I think this is something that would be behind the membership, so people can have this data and these things that we do, and that might be another value add as we build out, what Fed's going to be in the future, and playing nice together across the country because there's money to be made and there's business to be done and there's plenty for everyone. We just I think it could be done. I think it can be done positively. So, but again, you're running your business. You do exactly what you see fit. So this is definitely another bigger conversation. We're probably gonna have to I gotta get people on this. I gotta get people on this live, Lisa. We're gonna have to start scheduling people. Don't I have someone scheduled?
No longer.
Oh.
No, but yeah, we definitely need to get some people scheduled. Who wants to come on the live stream? I can reach out to you. I'll reach out to them.
You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna put a hit list together, and we're gonna reach out to people to discuss some topics.
All right.
I'd love to have Chris from HVACR videos on.
True, Chris. I will reach out to Chris.
Chris, if you're still watching, that would be amazing to have you on, just to chop it up and get more insight from you from running your business out. And I think you're in Cali, right? In California. I think it would be great for people to hear, great post to learn more about you in the Fed group. I appreciate that. I think we can come on and fire it up and talk about your journey. Well, we'll work around your schedule, brother. We'll work around your schedule because I see just the logistics of it all is hard. You just let me know when. We'll work around your schedule. We can stay in touch with me, or you can reach out to Lisa. If we got to do it at 6 o'clock at night Eastern time, I'll do it at 6 o'clock at night. If I got to do it at 7 o'clock at night, I'll do it at 7 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock at night, we'll do it anytime.
Yeah, we can do it at 9 o'clock. And if Lisa's not around, I can go rogue. I've gone rogue. So we can figure it out. No, it's no worries. Absolutely. So we're gonna put you on the list. Listen, Jason Hartman's been jumping in on so much conversation. We got to get Jason on the fired up if he's down. Obviously we'll talk to Quentin again, and we'll get some different sides of the world to jump in, because I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the industry from a lot of different areas, and getting perspectives on from each, getting a rep perspective, a dealer perspective, getting different perspectives is how we're going to make this thing even better. So, and listen, the more we talk about it, that's what drives change. And one day, the right ears are going to hear it, and somehow, some way, this whole thing is gonna blow up even bigger and more beautiful than it is now. So I don't know, Lisa. Thursday, fired up.
That's a wrap.
That's about it. We've been going for 40 minutes. I appreciate everybody, as usual, jumping in and taking time out of the day to watch and listen. If you're watching the replay and you made it this far, you're 41 minutes in. I appreciate you. Feel free to continue to comment. We will monitor them and check them out. And Quentin's going to ask his dealer friend if he wants to do a live too. Taz is out, laters. And yeah, I'm going to say laters too. Go to fedcon.com, get your tickets. Make sure you're in the building with me, Taz, Josh, and everybody else. And I'll be back in the building tomorrow in Jersey, so I think we'll do a fired up to end the week. And it's Thursday. You know what? Thankful Thursday. Forgot about that again.
Yeah,
so
Thankful Thursday. We do have to do that.
Jump on over to the Fed group after this, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll throw something. I'll throw a posting up to get it started, and let us know what you're grateful for. Thankful Thursday. What are you thankful for as we head towards Thanksgiving? Short week coming up next week, so happy Thanksgiving to you all, to you and your family. It's been a hell of a year, ladies and gentlemen. Stay fired up, stay well, make the rest of this day count. I'm watching. See you mañana.